back, young mathematicians. I'm Mrs. Taylor. Today we're going to be rounding numbers to estimate the sums. In other words, we're going to start with an addition problem. Instead of adding the numbers together, we're going to round the numbers so we can easily add the numbers up in our head. In order to do this, we're going to follow 3 simple steps. First, we're going to round each number. Then we're going to add the numbers together. And finally, that will give us the sum. But why do I need to learn this skill? Sometimes when I go shopping, I have a budget and I can only spend a certain amount of money. So I grab an item, I look at the price, and I round it to the nearest dollar. Then I grab my next item, round that to the nearest dollar. Then I'm going to add it together and find the sum so I can figure out about how much money I'm spending. That keeps me from spending too much money, and I can figure out about how much I'm going to spend. Before you continue this video, make sure that you know both of these math skills. First of all, you need to know how to round to the nearest thousands, hundreds, and tens place. Underline the first number, and that's where you're going to round to. Second of all, you need to know how to add 2 two-digit numbers without regrouping. If you know how to do both of these skills, continue on with this video. If you don't, go back and review these skills, and then return to the video when you're ready. Here is an anchor chart that summarizes how to estimate the sum. First of all, read the word problem and look for key words such as about, approximately, nearest, and closest. Once you read those words, we're going to estimate the sum instead of adding the numbers together. When we're estimating the sum, first of all, round each number. 648 rounds to 600. 251 rounds to 300. Then we're going to add those two numbers together. 600 plus 300 equals 900. So 900 is the answer to the question when you estimate the sum. Let's go as we practice rounding to estimate the sum. Here's your first problem. My family is going to Thanksgiving dinner. I brought 2 dozen sugar cookies to the party. My mom brought 36 chocolate chip cookies. About how many cookies are on the dessert table for Thanksgiving dinner? Since we see the words about how many, we're going to round to estimate the sum. The first thing I need to figure out is how much 2 dozen cookies are. I know that there are 12 cookies in 1 dozen, so I'm going to add 12 plus 12. The first thing I'm going to do is to make sure that my tens and ones line up together. In this case, they do because they're both 2-digit numbers. I know it's very tempting to add the tens column first because it's on the left-hand side, but make sure that when you add 2 two-digit numbers together that you add the ones place first. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now we're ready to add the tens place. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Now we know that 2 dozen cookies equals 24 cookies. Let's look at our word problem one more time so we can figure out what the other number is. Our first number is 24 because that's how many 2 dozen cookies are. Our other number that we need to remember is 36. You can either pause the video to estimate the sum on your own, or you can go ahead and work through the problem with me. What's our first step? That's right, we're going to round each number. Look at the number 24. We underline the 2 because we're rounding to the nearest tens. Look next door. That's the 4. That's why we circle it. The boss is 4 or less, so we're going to let it rest. The 2 is going to stay the same to make 20. 24 rounded to the nearest 10 is 20. Next, we're going to round the next number to the nearest tens. 36. Underline and find your place. That's the 3. Look next door. That's the 6. So we circle the boss. 5 or more, raise the score. So 3 now becomes a 4, making it 40. 36 is rounded to 40. Now that we've rounded both of our numbers, we're ready for our next step. We're going to add to find the sum. 0 plus 0 is 0 in the ones place. 2 plus 4 equals 6 in the tens place. So when we estimate the sum, it's about 60 cookies. Great job, boys and girls. I sure do love cookies, don't you? Here are the chocolate chip cookies that I've made before every holiday. And here are some sugar cookies that I like to make. I put sugar on them. Here's our next word problem. Ashley scooped out 186 seeds out of her pumpkin. Carson scooped out 224 seeds out of his pumpkin. Approximately how many pumpkin seeds did they have combined? The word approximately means about how many, and the word combined means to add or find the sum. Now we're ready to set up our equation. Ashley's pumpkin had 186 seeds. Carson's pumpkin had 224 seeds. Pause the video, estimate the sum to the nearest 100, and unpause the video to see if you got it correct. Now we're going to round each number. 186 rounds to 200 when we're rounding to the nearest hundreds because we underline the hundreds place. Find your place. That's the 1. Then we look next door and circle the boss. That's the 8. 8 is 5 or more, so we're going to raise the score and change the 1 to a 2, making it 200. Now we're going to round our second number. 224 is closest to 200 because we find our place, which is the 2 in the hundreds place. Look next door, that's also a 2. 2 is 4 or less, so we're going to let it rest and keep the 2 in the hundreds place the same, rounding 224 to 200. Now that we've rounded each number, we're ready to add to find the sum. 0 plus 0 equals 0 in the ones place. 0 plus 0 equals 0 in the tens place. 2 plus 2 equals 4 in the hundreds place. So when we scooped out the seeds out of 2 pumpkins, we found approximately 400 seeds. Now that I've scooped out around 400 seeds from the pumpkins, I can roast them in the oven so I can eat them. Just clean them, add olive oil and salt, and bake them in the oven. Yum! Here's our last problem. On Friday, there were 3,578 visitors at the Fall Festival. On Saturday, there were 4,863 people at the Fall Festival. About how many people were there at the Fall Festival Friday and Saturday? Since I say the words about how many, I'm going to round to estimate the sum instead of finding the exact answer. Here we pulled out the number of people who attended the Fall Festival on Friday and Saturday. Pause the video and estimate the sum. First, we're going to round each number. We're going to round 3,578 to the nearest thousands place. Underline the 3 because it's in the thousands place. Look next door and circle the boss, which is the 5. 5 or more raise the score, so we're going to change the 3 in the thousands place to a 4, making it 4,000. Next, we're going to round 4,863 to the nearest thousands place. Find your place, that's the 4, it's in the thousands place. Look next door, circle the boss, it's the 8. 8 is 5 or more, so raise the score. We're going to change the 4 in the thousands place to a 5, making it 5,000. 4,863 is closer to 5,000. Finally, we're going to add the numbers together to find the sum. 0 plus 0 equals 0 in the ones place. 0 plus 0 equals 0 in the tens place. 0 plus 0 equals 0 in the hundreds place. And 4 plus 5 in the thousands place equals 9,000. About 9,000 people attended the Fall Festival on Friday and Saturday. Congratulations, boys and girls! You earned a gold trophy for all of your hard work today. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we learn to round to estimate the sum. Don't forget the 3 steps that you learned today when you learn the next skill, which is rounding to estimate the difference. You're going to look at 2 numbers, round those 2 numbers, subtract them, and then you will estimate the difference. If you liked today's video, click the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single adventure. Until next time, we'll see you again soon, mathematicians. Goodbye.